Hi guys, my name is Stephanie. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back to my channel, and if you're new here, you're welcome. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to make this crop top with this armhole cutout for both the front and the back piece, as you can see in this video. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, do it by clicking on the subscribe button and also the post notification so you'll be notified anytime I upload a video. And also don't forget to like this video and keep on watching till the end. So this is actually the top I'm actually refashioning to make the crop top with. And I had to remove the cape of the top to make ruffles for the pencil skirt I posted on the channel. So if you haven't watched that, I'll link it in the description box so that you go check after this video. So I'm actually going to turn this over to the wrong side and then separate the sides from each other. Just the same way you see in this video, just basically separating the sides. But if you're actually working on a new fabric, it's still the same thing. Like inserting the measurement is actually going to be the same thing, okay? And I also go ahead and separate the shoulder from each other as well. So I'm actually done doing that. So I'm marking the wrong side so I won't be confused when I'm joining the both pieces together. So I'll go ahead and arrange all the pieces, both the front and the back. I'll fold it into two, just the same way you see, and I also fold the other piece into two as well. And I also go ahead and place the two pieces on top of each other and neatly arrange it. As you can see, this fabric is really stretchy, so when I'm actually inserting my measurements, I will not be adding any extra sewing allowance. So the first thing I'm going to do is to be marking the length of the top. And since the top is actually going to be a crop top, I'm making use of 17 inches, but I'm adding half an inch for stitching allowance at the upper side, okay? And for the downside, there is no need of folding allowance because it's already unfold. So I'll just draw this straight line which is going to mark as my starting point and my shoulder line. Then I'll divide my shoulder by 2, which is 7.5 inches. I'll just mark the 7.5 inches over there, and then I'll be inserting my neck width of about 3.5 inches. Or you can actually make use of 3 inches or 3.5 inches depending on your own preference, okay? So for the front neck depth, I'm making use of 3.5 inches. I'll mark it there and then I'll carve all the lines, connect all the points together just the same way you see me doing. And then for the back neck depth, I'm actually going to be making use of 1.5 inches. I'll mark the depth of 1.5 inches, but the width is actually going to be the same with the front, so I will just make a curve and connect it. And I'll be moving down by 1 inch for shoulder slope on the shoulder line, and then from there I'll be moving down by 7 inches for my armhole. I'll go ahead and mark it there. My armhole is usually 7.5 inches, but because it's an armless top, I'm making use of 7 inches instead. So I'll mark it there and then connect to the upper side. And I also connect my shoulder slope as well. And because this top is actually going to be sleeveless, I'll be minusing 1 inch from the shoulder line. And then I'll mark it there. And then I'll be dividing my armhole by 2. I'll divide the 7 inches by 2, and then I'll place and mark the midpoint from there, and then I will still be going in by 2 inches. I'm moving by 2 inches because it's actually going to be an armhole cutout. It's going to be deep, so I will just connect it and carve my armhole, connecting to the 1 inch that I mark at the upper side. So that's actually what I'm basically doing now. So this 2 inches from the midpoint, you can actually move in by 2.5 inches, so 3 inches depending on how deep you actually want it to be, okay? So I'm actually done doing that, and then I'll be dividing my bust measurement by 4. I'll mark it there. I'm not adding any extra allowance, sewing allowance, because this fabric is really stretchy. And I also divide my waist measurement by 4. I'll mark it over there and then connect it to the bust measurement. And then I'll go ahead and connect all the points together and then cut everything out with my scissors following the measurement. I'll actually start with the back neckline first before the front neckline. I'll start with the back neckline, follow to the shoulder line and then the armhole. And then finally this side. I'll be leaving the downside because it's already unfold. And then I'll open up the back neckline to be able to cut the front neckline separately. So I'm actually done cutting out everything now, as you can see. So guys, when I was actually done cutting, I discovered that it was not as deep as I actually wanted it to be. So I'm still moving in by 1 inch because I had already moved in by 2.5 inches before. So adding 1 inch to it, making 3.5 inches. So I'll connect it to the shoulder line and then go ahead and cut it out. But this very part is actually optional, depending on how deep you want it to be. If you don't want it to be deep, you leave it, but if you still want it to be more, you will still add, depending on your own preference. So I'm actually done cutting, as you can see. So I'll go ahead and open it up so that you guys will see how it's actually looking. So see how deep the armhole is looking compared to the first time. Okay, and the next thing I'm actually going to do is to be cutting a strap of fabric that will actually pipe the neckline with, and also the armhole on both front and the back piece. So I've actually gone ahead to cut a piece of fabric that is long enough for me to pipe the neckline of my front piece and my back piece, and also the armholes. And I actually joined it, as you can see, because that was the piece that was remaining. I had to join it to get the length that I actually want, and then the width is about 1.5 inches. And the next thing I'm going to do is to be piping the neckline. I'll place it with the right side facing each other, and then I'll go ahead and sew it on my sewing machine. I'll sew it around, turn it over, and then still sew. And I'll repeat the same thing to this other side as well. So I'm actually done doing that. I'm done sewing it, I'm done turning it, and then I still did the same thing to this other side as well. So the next thing is I'm going to be placing the right sides facing each other, and then I'll take it to my sewing machine and sew the shoulder line for the both sides. So I'm actually done sewing the shoulder, I'm done joining it, as you can see. So the next thing is that I'm going to be turning the armhole. I'm going to be placing it to the right sides facing each other, and then I'll sew it, still turn it to the other side and sew it. Do the same thing to the two sides as well. So guys, I'm actually done sewing the armhole, as you can see. So the next thing is that I'm going to be turning this with the right sides facing each other, and then I'll arrange it and then take it to my sewing machine to sew about 1 inch. Since this fabric is already stretchy and I don't need any sewing allowance for it, I will sew about 1 inch. So I'm actually done joining, I'm done sewing that, as you can see. But for the downside, it's already folded, so there's no need for me to still fold for the second time, so the stitch is still there. So the last thing for me to do is to just iron the top now. So the top is actually ready now, as you can see. So thank you so much guys for watching. If you're still here, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel to join this family, and also like this video, and don't forget to share it to anyone you know the video will be of help to as well. So this is the final look of the top. Thank you, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.